Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Naquan, watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another cold cut, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, Shema Mashiach, Komalak Bashar, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahweh Shai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there on the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, and presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying. They're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom to those men. Shalom to the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there, zealous, on fire, married, unmarried, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men, the children, and the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Yazian David, Yehuda Israel, Benjamin Youngbuff, Shalom King Nigel Blends, HBK Int, Kazak, Kyoko Bunyamyan, Juan Figura, Don Israel, M. Williams 64, Yasha Allah 12 Yakad, and everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing. The topic of this cold cut is occultism, laws of money, and Revelation chapter 18, right? Occultism, the laws of money, and Revelation 18. And for those who may not know what occultism actually is, we're going to dive into it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, and how this society, I'm going to show the screen momentarily, how this society is rooted within occultism. We're going to go into the laws of money, the sorcery behind the society, the witchcraft, the ancient world, how we kept the laws pertaining to wealth and money, what that means. And we're going to dive into this through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai. Now, here's the etymology of the word occultism. It reads, the doctrine, principles, or practices of occult sciences, right? Now, occult really goes back into sorcery, witchcraft, secret knowledge, clandestine, right? That's what it goes to. So occult, it says secret, not divulged. So you have secret societies, you have societies and governments that operate and deal mightily and heavily with witchcraft, Freemasonry, symbols, numbers, architecture, shadow governments, wicked high priest on the left-hand side, child sacrifice, human sacrifice, Molech, the Bohemian Grove. All of these are occultic, and they were more so in the ancient times and more so back in the day, but through the light of Yahweh Shai, things are being made manifest. But you still have this on a high level, right? These secret societies. You see what's going on with Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z, Diddy, these lower level celebrities, they're getting caught up in this madness that who have sold their souls, man. You know, who have given up the vows that they may be famous, that they may receive notoriety and the praise of men. You have rich elite bankers who are in the highest level of the so-called proverbial food chain that are into these secret rites and secret ceremonies. So occultic is secret, not divulged, from French occult, directly from from Latin, occultus, hidden or concealed or secret, right? To cover over, to conceal, right? Now let's jump down. The association with the supernatural sciences, magic, alchemy, astrology, dates from the 1630s, a verb occult meaning to keep secret and conceal. So it deals with secret, sorcery, what men call dark magic, right? What people call witchcraft, wizardry. All of these things are being done in these last days and have been being done for decades and decades, whether people believe it or accept it or not, right? Let's go to the book of first and foremost, right? We're going to touch on this. Let's go to Revelation, the 18th chapter, right? This is Revelation chapter 18 and verse number 23. And the light of a candle shall shine no more at all in thee, and the voice of the bridegroom and of the bride shall be heard no more at all in thee. For thy merchants, were the great men of the earth, for by thy sorceries were all nations deceived. So America has deceived all nations through sorcery, right? Not necessarily because they have a flag or they said we're coming over there in the name of democracy. Sorcery is deeper than that. Sorcery is actual warlocks. You have actual wizards. You have actual wicked priests that are putting curses and spells and working on the minds of the people. That stuff is real, man. Sorcery in the low level is the media, the propaganda. All of that is the witchcraft and the sorcery that seduces the other nations. The CIA, the false flags, clandestine, covert, psyop, task and missions. This is how nations are overthrown, and this is how nations are deceived. What you're seeing going on right now in Syria, that's an act of sorcery. Why? Because the masses of the people are being beguiled and bewitched to believe that they actually overthrew a dictator and they took down a wicked regime, and now the people of Syria are liberated. People, I mean, they really believe that. They have no idea that years ago they came out and said that the Golden Heights that the state of Israel is fighting over is full of oil. They have no idea that that land is being invaded by the state of Israel now. And it was all part of their plan that they can take over these countries of Lebanon, Iran, Syria, etc., man, that they may establish themselves to be the true Jews. So all of this, these wars, all of this is rooted in sorcery, and it's primarily all about money, man. Right? 99.9% of these wars have always been about money. And we're going to dive into the sorcery of money and what this is about, man. Let's go to the classic of 1 Timothy. Now, money is not wicked, right? Money is not evil. You got a lot of people say, well, money's the root of all evil. Money is not the root of all evil, right? You hear people say that all the time. The scripture doesn't say money is the root of all evil. The scripture says, for the love of money is the root of all evil, right? So you need money is a defense. Let me get that first, right? And money answereth all things, right? So money is not wicked, right? Money is not ungodly. But when you covet, you tie in sorcery, witchcraft, wicked laws, all of this thing, all of those add up into sins and charges that are going to be held against you lest you repent. Ecclesiastes 10:9. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry, but money answereth all things. Right. So if there's a question of how much can we get with the food for the feast, how much the wine costs, all of those questions, can we get the venue, what garment am I going to be able to wear? All those questions is answered by money, right? Feasts don't just manifest itself. People have to pay for resources, supplies, decorations, chairs, etc. Same thing with wine. Money answers all things, right? Let's get another one. Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 7, right? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 7 and verse 12. It reads, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. And money is a defense, man. We all know that very well. You knew that when you needed gas in your car, man. When you had to pay your rent. You knew money was a defense when you had to get that food to eat, right? When you had to buy those groceries, man. Right? When your car broke down and you had to get new brakes and a new tire. Money essentially became your primary defense from the attacks of stress. When you're being attacked by burdens, unforeseen circumstances, money is there to support you and help you kind of recover. So again, don't think money is wicked, right? Abraham had money, essentially. Lot, Job, our forefathers had wealth. But the money that we deal with in today's society is not what our forefathers dealt with. And today's money, it's rooted in occultism, sorcery, witchcraft. And we're going to dive into this, man. Right? Let's go to the book first of Genesis, the 13th chapter. Right? This is Genesis chapter 13 and verse number 1. And Abram went up out of Egypt. Let me make sure this is shown. Okay, come. And Abram went up out of Egypt, he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him into the south. And Abram was very rich in cattle and silver and in gold. So what makes you very rich, right? Cattle, silver, and gold. Also, what else did Abraham have? Abraham had slaves, what you call men servants. He had a woman servant. Abraham also had a standing trained army ready to be dispositioned at his will. He had 318 trained men, elite men, trained in all manner of weaponry that can go to war. So that's true wealth. You don't see these modern day rappers, celebrities, these so-called entrepreneurs, money getters, they don't have cattle. They don't have a 3,000 oxen, 4,000 sheep. They don't have silver. And a lot of you Negroes, you gave up your gold, man. When Esau was doing the cash for gold scheme back in the day, he scammed you, man. A lot of you Jakes, you actually had gold, man. Maybe it was passed down. You kind of came up, and you turned in all your gold for cash. And your cash doesn't mean anything. Your cash isn't real. It's not a real currency. It's nothing that holds any value or any weight. Gold is always a standard. Gold never runs out of style. Silver never runs out of style. But your paper money, you see how inflation is now, right? And your value of your money is going down the drain. But the point is, in the ancient world, they didn't carry paper money, right? They didn't have what they call Federal Reserve notes or fiat currency. They didn't have this paper money, legal tender debt notes. They traded in silver, and they weighed things in silver and gold, right? Let's go to the book of Job. Job also had a similar life in terms of wealth. Job chapter 1 and verse number 3. His substance also was 7,000 sheep and 3,000 camels and 500 yoke of oxen and 500 she-asses and a very great household, so that this man was the greatest of all the men of the East. Now, men of the East really represents the Levant and all of Mesopotamia. There was nobody, if there was a Forbes top 5 billionaires or the most wealthiest man in America on Time magazine, Job would have been on the cover, man. Job would have been on the cover. So he had sheep. Sheep provide you with meat, right? It's providing you clothing, milk. Camels are for what? What are camels for? Camels are like cars. If you have 3,000 camels, you essentially have 3,000 cars. Camels are used for war. Camels are used for traveling, and they're known for their pack animals. So they can carry pounds and pounds and pounds of weight and baggage, tools and all types of garments. And he had 500 yoke of oxen. So what are oxen for? For plowing the field, for planting seeds so you could till the land. So these are the things that are practical and profitable that Job had through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, right? Let's go to Proverbs chapter 27. There's another man, we're not going to get it, but Nabal was like that. When you read about the life of Nabal, the fool, Nabal had a lot of wealth, man. Right? This is Proverbs chapter 27 and 23. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. For riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure to every generation. So you see how the Most High likens your flocks and your herds to riches. And if you're not watching over your flocks, they can get attacked by wild wolves, lions, thieves. They can have diseases. They can get worms. They can get sick. They can fall off a cliff. You have to watch over the flock and take care of your possessions. Because if they go, then all of your wealth goes. Right? Verse 25. The hay appeareth, and the tender grass showeth itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. The lambs are for thy clothing, and goats are the price of thy field. So you didn't have, let me just order this off of Amazon. Okay, well, let me just go to the mall and buy this. Okay, well, let me see if this size fits me. No, if you didn't have land, or if you had your own lambs, and hey, look, man, you was taken care of. And the Lord said, goats are the price of the field. And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance of thy maidens. What is maintenance? Surviving, maintaining people's health. When it's cold out, they have warmth. They have fleece of sheep. They have clothes. They have milk. They have meat. And again, this is how life was in the ancient world, man. And Esau knows this. Esau knows where true wealth comes from. But a lot of Negroes, they don't know, man. You know, you got people that be having the money rolled down their damn sleeve. There was a trend when people were spelling out damn big words with money, man. Get your money up, get your bag up. Movies all about the Benjamins, blue faces, you know, pesos, all of these terms that they have to boast about currency. But what does Esau have, man? Esau has wealth. Esau has land. He owns actual land. He owns the farms. Bill Gates is buying up damn acres and acres of land, man. A Negro will buy a pair of Jordans. He'll buy the flat screen TV. He'll buy one of those grown man tricycles, man. But you got these nations, they'll buy land, they'll buy livestock. It's this Edomite I work with, man. He bought a damn stable of horses. He said, yeah, this is how you buy the horse. Here's what you look for. This horse is $500. Here's the breeding fee. So a lot of these nations, they don't think like you Negroes do, man. They know what true assets are. A lot of you Negroes, you just buy temporary things and your mind is bad. These nations know that lamb is for thy clothing. That's why you can't just get a damn lamb. You can get you a pit bull and a Rottweiler, you know. You can get you a damn goldfish. You ain't going to just go get a lamb. And if you get a lamb, if you got a lamb in your backyard, hey, they might come and damn take that lamb. You know, you can't even damn put stuff in your land. Let's say you own a land. You got to pay a fee to put a damn like an extension on your balcony. You got to check in with the city. There are permits and certain violations of zones, city zones. So you don't own any damn thing. I got my land. Well, you're paying taxes on your land. There's eminent domain on your land. You got to check in with the city if you want to extend and build on your land. Go ahead and have a flock of cattle. Go take a flock of cattle. Let's say you stay on MLK Boulevard and take your 5 sheep down the street. Hey, they'll arrest you, man. You know, you're violating all types of animal cruelty laws, and they'll take your sheep. Right? So again, these nations, they know what true wealth is, man. Right? And they left you Negroes thinking that paper money and currency was the way to go. Now in the kingdom, we're going to go back to this lifestyle. We're going to go back to lambs and land and slaves and gold and having a militia. We're not going to carry the US dollar or the BRICS digital currency or whatever they have. We're not carrying that into the kingdom. Right? Let's go to Genesis. Right? Let's go to Genesis chapter 23. Right? Genesis chapter 23. And let's read verse number 13. Right? It reads, and he spake, I'll start at 12. This is after Sarah died, after Sarah gave up the ghost, and Abraham is looking to bury his wife. And Abram bowed down himself before the people of the land. And this is a very, very righteous, honorable thing that Abraham is doing right now. And he spake unto Ephron and the audience of the people of the land, saying, but if thou wilt give it, I pray thee, hear me. I will give thee money for the field. Take it of me, and I will bury my dead there. So he's asking the sons of Heth, these Canaanites, I want to buy a field and a cave to bury my family, right? And Ephron answered Abraham, saying unto him, my Lord, hearken unto me. The land is worth 400 shekels of silver. What is that betwixt me and thee? Bury therefore thy dead. You know what they call it? They call that rich man talk. That's rich man talk. You got money, I got money. Ain't no thing, ain't no sweat, man. It's only 400 shekels. It's only 400 shekels, right? Ain't no sweat. What is that between me and you? You got money, I got money. I'm not tripping. That's what he's saying. So Abraham had a lot of money, man. He was very, very wealthy. And Ephron, he was very wealthy. So these are two wealthy men talking about wealthy things, right? That's like you go to these, they got these fancy restaurants and these guys are talking about, they spent $50,000 on a cruise and, they had a $30,000 dinner and you can't enter that conversation. That conversation is above your pay grade, man. Right? They have them $20,000 suits on. So that's the kind of man or conversation that Abraham and Ephron are having. That's the level that they were on. They weren't like everybody else, right? Now let's read on. And Abraham hearkened unto Ephron, and Abraham weighed Ephron the silver, which he had named in the audience of the sons of Heth, 400 shekels of silver, current money with the merchant. So in the ancient world, you would actually name it, meaning you would count it, right? You would count, here's 1 shekel, 2 shekel, 3, 4, 5, and he would count to 400. And you would have witnesses to make sure that he was counting. See, a lot of times you get money from people, somebody owe you $100, they give you a damn fold of money and they hurry up and leave, right? You expect them to get $100 in 5 20s, but they really gave you damn 5 10s, right? So they shortchanged you. So in the ancient world, and brothers have to really practice these customs, man. And for brothers giving you something, he has to count that money out loud. And Jake, you still kind of know that. Some brothers, hey, I don't got to count that. Some brothers, they on the level of, I don't got to count that. You kind of trust that brother. You kind of go way back. The brother has a good reputation. Hey, but not everybody's like that. Hey, brother, hey, you don't have to count that, brother. What you mean? I got to count that. What you don't trust? No, brother, look. So Abraham had to count that money out loud, man. And then he weighed it. So again, your money was the prices were based off of the weight of the money, right? If you had this many shekels of gold or this many shekels of silver, you actually weighed that. And that's what true wealth is. True currency is weighed. And a lot of these people, they get to the point where they make even paper currency, these dollars, they'll weigh their money, man. Right? They'll take it in a big black bag, they'll throw it on a scale. And that's how you know they got actual money, when you start weighing it. All right. Now, when you look up, this is how they did the money in the ancient world. Let me pull this up. I had this. So here's the currency and weight in the Hebrew scriptures. Now, Abraham said, the Lord said, this is current money with the merchant. This is where you get the word currency from. The word currency, let's pull this up. Right, currency goes back to the word meaning to flow, right? Like a current of a river or the current of an ocean, right? It says currency, the condition of flowing. Why is money called currency? It's because it's what keeps a society flowing, right? The paper, the money, the gold, it travels from one person to another. And nations are likened unto waters. Right? Remember, people are likened unto rivers, waters, a sea of people. So the currency is the object that flows in the waters from one individual to another. It's what keeps a society flowing. Right? So this lets you know that even people are likened unto waters, and the objects that are exchanged are flowing in the waters. All right. So that's why it's called the current money in Genesis, or currency. The notion of the state, it's like the notion of state or fact of flowing from person to person, led to the senses, continuity, and public knowledge. That which is current as a medium of exchange, money. So that's what currency is. Something that flows from one person to another for an exchange, right? So that's the current money. It's like it that Abraham weighed in the balance. Then let me pull this up. This is currency and weight in the Hebrew scripture. So here's how they would do it. They would weigh it in the balance. Abraham had 400 shekels. He actually had to weigh that 400 shekels, right? And they would actually look at it and make sure that it was equal to what he was paying for. That's how it worked. This is called a balance. A lot of times you go hear brothers say, well, that's a false balance. This is an actual balance. You know, and princes, merchants, kings, they carried these balances. They had them set up. And you had witnesses, and they would take their gold and they would actually put it on the balance, and it would equal out what they were buying. Right now, this is these are just some terms that brothers see in the scriptures. A gera, then you have a becca, a pim, a shekel. These are our ancient currencies. Again, we didn't have pennies, dimes, nickels, a damn 50-cent coin with JFK on it, right? This is what we dealt with. This is the ancient world. This is the ancient mind, right? The Lord said, reform your hearts, man. And 2 Ezra 14-34, right? The Lord said the renewing of your mind in Romans chapter 12-2. So these are things that we knew very well in the ancient world. We knew what shekels were, how much it weighed. See that? So a shekel weighed currently about 11.5 grams. All right, that's how much a shekel weighed. Then you have 50 shekels equal to mina. Then you have 60 minutes that equal 1 talent. All right, so you read about the different talents, and a talent of gold or a talent of silver. That's talking about wealth and money and how much these things weigh. Now, this is how you know that the ancient world was dealing with real wealth, because if you weigh $50 bills and you weigh 50 $100 bills, they weigh the same, right? They weigh the same. So that lets you know that there's no value. Now, if I weigh 50 pounds of gold and I weigh 20 pounds of silver, one of those metals are going to be heavier than the other, you know? So the value of it and the weight of it lets you know how valuable it is, right? So these are just the different units of measurement in the ancient world. Now, you go in the New Testament and you'll read about currency and weight in the scriptures, right? You'll read about a denarius, right? And they actually get a precept in Matthew 20, right? When you read about the men that were hired in the vineyard, they were given a denarius, all right? You read about a drachma, all right? You read about all these different currencies in the ancient world, right? You read about these currencies even in the ancient world. So life was a lot different, man. Life was a lot different. You dealt with drachmas in the time of the Greek Empire. In the time of the Romans, you dealt with the denarius. You know? Now, we primarily in the ancient world, before we adopted and were forced to use the Roman and Greek currency, again, this was our currency that we dealt with. And this is perfect. This is perfect right here. All right? Now, with these currencies, you could falsify this. You could falsify your coins because you could say this is pure silver, but it could be silver mixed with other elements. And that's what Esau does. Now, if you have a quarter or you have a nickel or a penny, right, that's mixed with like 5 different metals, 5 to 6 different metals. You know, so it's not pure silver. It's not pure nickel. It's not, that penny is not pure copper. It's mixed with 1,000 different things. Right? So again, life in the ancient world was a lot different through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. So Abraham weighed that 400 shekels of silver, current money, with the merchant. And the merchant is somebody that does what? They sell. They buy and they sell. And you have prophetic merchants, like in Revelation, the 18th chapter, which represents corporations on the grand scheme of things. And then you have actual individual merchants, which are your local buyers and sellers. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 32. This is Jeremiah chapter 32, and I want verse number, let's see. This is Jeremiah 32 and verse 9. And I bought the field of Hananiah, my uncle's son, that was in Anathoth, and weighed him the money, even 17 shekels of silver. So we have to actually weigh that, right? So everybody would know that, hey, is this actually the weight of 17 shekels? And I subscribed the evidence and sealed it and took witnesses and weighed him the money and the balances. And really, when you brothers are exchanging money, right? Let's say you're in a camp, or you brothers that, you're in a congregation. You should have witnesses, man. Right? You should have witnesses when you're exchanging money. Because a brother jump around and say, I didn't get it. Or, hey, you didn't give me enough. Or a brother might have gave him the money and said, oh, I gave you too much. He said, no, you gave me the right amount. No, I gave you an extra 20. So that's why it's important to have witnesses there. Whenever brothers are putting stuff into the, let's say you had cash or something, you put it into the treasury and the body, hey, always get witnesses, man. Faithful witnesses. And then most times things should be documented and written down. That way you got witnesses and it's documented and it's written down, and that prevents all confusion. And that's what Jeremiah did. So nobody could say, well, Jeremiah, you ain't give me enough. And Jeremiah can't say, well, I gave you too much, give it back. So you have witnesses to say, hold on, no, I was there. And you don't have that in this society, man. You got people damn getting robbed. You damn pay for something, the cashier don't give you all your change back, man. You got forced gratuity when you go out to eat at a restaurant. You pay for a damn $10 damn burger or something, and you get your they call it your bill. Your bill is $40. Oh, well, we had to add the forced gratuity on there, 50% or whatever. So this is a corrupt, wicked society, man. How are they forcing you to give them damn 35 to 50% gratuity, a tip, regardless of what the service was like? Well, you got to cough up the dough anyway. And these devils, they'll automatically take stuff out your account, man. This fee, that fee. This society is robbery, man. Look at your check. You can say, well, I don't believe that. Well, okay, well, look at your check. How much stuff is being taken out of your check? Federal tax, state tax, city tax, Social Security tax, Medicare, Medicaid. Don't have a lot of benefits, man. You got a lot of benefits. It's over with, man. Life insurance, health insurance, premiums. You put damn 30% of the damn 401k, man. Gross check. Let's say you make, I don't know, throw a number. Let's say 2,000. Your gross check income is 2,000. You're walking away with damn $900. Gross income 2,000. If you're in a certain jail, you're walking away with $900, man. You ain't living too good. So the point is, Jeremiah, he did the right thing. He subscribed it, so everything was written down. He had witnesses, and he weighed it in the balance. Verse 11. So I took the evidence of the purchase, both that which was sealed according to the law and custom, and that which was open. So it's a law and a custom. The law goes back to Genesis, the 23rd chapter, right? Abraham knew that was the custom amongst the Israelites. When there's an exchange of things, and brothers, these are the laws that we keep, man. You buy a car from a brother, hey, brother, you better buy that car, it better be witnesses, right? Stuff better be written down. It better be signed off. Money got to be counted out loud. Things have to be done decently and in order, man. You buy a car, even from a brother, man. Car damn broke up, beat down. People falsify the odometer. You buy a car, you thought the car had 40,000 miles on it. You blink twice after you drove a mile, it's really 400,000. So things have to be done in order. That this prevents brothers from being finessed, scammed, robbed, beguiled, hoodwinked, bamboozled. All things have to be done decently and in order. Let's go to Ecclesiastes real quick, chapter 42. These are our laws and our customs, right? Sirach chapter 42. And you can't do that in this society, man. You can't really get witnesses and, this Sirach chapter 42 and 7. Deliver all things in number and weight. You see that? And put all in writing that thou givest out or receivest in. So if a brother give you some, you might want a receipt, man. Anytime I go out and they ask, do I want a receipt? Yeah, give me my damn receipt, man. For y'all start playing games. And most Jakes, they keep all their receipts, man. You might have a drawer in the kitchen, or somewhere you got a damn grocery bags, the damn bags and some receipts in there or something, man. So Jake kind of keep their receipts. And if a brother gives you some, hey, you might want a receipt, brother. Let's write that out, brother. No, I don't really want to do that. I don't really, no, brother. Hey, write that out, man. And number and in weight, whatever you give out, right, as an exchange, and what you receive as an exchange. Let's go to Sirach chapter. I believe that's 40. Actually, let's jump up. This is Sirach chapter 42 and verse number 4. These are things not to be ashamed of. Actually, I'm going to read that in verse 1. Of these things be not thou ashamed, and accept no person to sin thereby. There are certain things you have to be bold about. You can't be ashamed about, right? Of exactness of balance and weights, or of getting much or little. So a lot of you brothers, you too scared to say something, man. Here it is, you went out to eat, and they your food was $50, but they charged you $200. I don't want to say nothing. I don't want to make them mad. I'm kind of ashamed. I don't want to kind of, stir the pot up. I'll just pay that extra. No, brother, say something, man. Don't be a fool. Don't be a fool. A brother, he was going to buy your car. Your car was $3,000. The brother gave you $300. Hey, say something, man. Don't just sit there and count the money and start crying at his face. The brother said, what's wrong? What? Nothing. And you ball up your money and put it in your damn pocket, man. Like a creep. Hey, brother, look, brother, this was $3,000. This is only $300, brother. I'm short $2,700. Do you have that on you? Oh, well, yeah, I got it. I really got it right here. So you can't be ashamed when it comes to trade and the exchange of goods and services for brothers. And a lot of brothers, unfortunately, man, you have bad experiences with Israel, and you have good experiences. But sometimes the brother might have ordered a shirt, man. He might have ordered a garment from somebody. It might not have fit. It might have been too small, too big. It might not have been what he liked. Brother might not want to say nothing. Brother, it's okay to speak up. Hey, brother, you gave me a black garment, brother. Hey, I wanted a white garment. Right? Hey, brother, are you going to make me a white garment? Do you want this back? Am I going to get a refund? And a lot of brothers don't like that, man. But you got to do that. You got to do that. That's what this is about. It reads, and of merchants indifferent selling of much correction of children, and to make the side of an evil servant to bleed. So you got to know how to deal with merchants. Don't let these damn Ishmaelites finesse you, man. You go to the damn corner store, you get a honey bun. Honey bun was $1 last week. Now it's $4. He say $4. You don't want to say nothing. Oh, man, what's $4, man? That's crazy, man. Here, man. Here. No, man, hold on. Why is this $4, man? Last week, it was $1. I'm not buying that, man. And you kind of leave out of there. A lot of you Jakes, you just let these nations just beat you up, man. You bought a damn pop, 50 cents, but he charging an Ishmaelite and an Edomite 50 cents for it. He charged you $2.50 for it. You right behind him and line, you don't want to say nothing. You scared to ask for a bag. You scared to ask for a receipt. Right? You can't be like that in this truth, man. right? These are the laws of money and exchange and of goods and services. Even as a nation, you got brothers with businesses, you got sisters that offer services, garments and shirts, and brothers that do businesses and trucking companies and things of that nature. So we have to know how to actually apply these laws too, as we come together as a nation and rely on each other and keep our money within our own pocket. You have to know when to be bold in these times. You want to know how to go about these matters with integrity, honor, and righteousness, man. Right? These things are profitable for all men. Right? Let's go to Ecclesiastes chapter 26. Right? And again, these aren't things that this society goes into, man. Right? This Sirach chapter 26 and 29. A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong, and an huckster shall not be freed from sin. You got a lot of hucksters out here. Merchants and hucksters. What is a huckster? Somebody that finesse you, a scammer. Yeah, there are scammers in the Bible. It's called a huckster. Somebody that hustle you out your money, fast talk you, finesse you, beguile you, talk you into spending damn $10,000 on a $1,000 car. You know? Hey, man, a lot of you, a brother bought a damn house. He bought a house online. He never even saw the house. People that kind of hyped up the house. It's the best house of your life. He saw all these pictures. Yeah, just give me $5,000 down right now. Give me $5,000 now. Ain't the pictures mighty? Yeah, they are mighty. Yeah. Can I come see the house? No, you can't see it yet. We're still working on it. We're still working on the house. But if you give me the $5,000 now, we got you. Oh, okay, all right. Then you get a brother $5,000, man. And then you show up and you drive 2 hours and you out of damn state somewhere, man. Right? You're not even in the same state. You're in some cornfield somewhere. Broke. So you want to know how to identify hucksters. Let's actually put that definition up. You want to know how to identify a huckster, man, in this thing. Right? It says, like them Hamites. You got them Hamites that be posted up selling them damn purses and glasses, man. Gucci glasses, you know, some buffs. How a Hamite got a whole rack of buffs and damn Gucci glasses, man? Louis Vuitton this and this, that, and the third on the corner of the street. That's called a huckster. Right? Now, when I get my mitris from certain places, from these Ishmaelites, man, because they be having mitris and incense, I'll be finessing them, man. If you're an Ishmaelite watching this, you've been finessed. I'll go in there and I'll look at a mitri, right? And I say, I ask them how much the mitri is. Oh, $10. I'll pick the mitri up. I kind of look at it, you know. Nah, I can't do this. Right? And then I'll act like I'm walking out the store, man. Okay. For you, you know, $5. I'm gonna just see what they got right there. Okay, $4. Okay, I guess. You know, I do that for incense, mitris, what they call that, censors, right? Get over on you nations, man. Right? So you don't want to be a huckster when it comes to selling. Right? But in these nations, man, you could finesse it. We can actually put usury on these nations. You can say, well, I don't like how you did that, Naquan. That's not right. You shouldn't have did that. And well, the Lord said we can put usury on them. Well, I don't really like that. Well, you don't have to like it, right? Let me go to the law, right? You can actually give these nations usury and charge them interest, man. Right? This is Deuteronomy chapter 23 and verse number 19. Now, you can't do that to an Israelite. That would be off if you did that to an Israelite, man. The Lord said, the buyer boasteth, or the buyer says it is, or it's like the proverb says, it is not, saith the buyer, and afterward he boasteth. So you can't do that to an Israelite. That would be off, and that wouldn't be sincere. Right? That wouldn't be sincere to do that to an Israelite, man. And you pay that brother what he asks you for, and you disagree with it, and you disagree with it. But here's what the Lord said regarding the other nations. This Deuteronomy chapter 23 and 19. Thou shalt not lend upon usury to thy brother. Usury of money, usury of victuals, usury of anything that is lent upon usury. So you can't loan a brother anything or give a brother anything and attach interest to it, right? You can't attach interest, right? So usury is interest. Now, what is interest for brothers that may not know, right? Let's put this up. Interest is, look, I'll give you a car for $5,000. For every year you had a car, you got to pay me $150. I'll give you a car for $5,000. For every dollar that you pay for the car, I want 50% on that dollar, right? That's interest. Now, here's interest right here. It reads, so this is WFI finances right here now. And finance and economics, interest is payment from a debtor or deposit-taking financial institution to a lender or depositor of an amount above payment of the principal sum. So again, principal sum, $5,000, interest, 25% interest on that, right? So now you're paying $1,250 or something of that matter as an interest fee. I want the $5,000 and I want 25%, right? Or you work for me for whatever dollar that you make, I want 50% of that dollar. Now, you can't do that to a brother. You can't tell a brother that, man. A brother can't work for you or a brother can't buy something from you, right? Brother want to buy your oxen, he want to buy your car. The flat fee is $2,000, but you tell the brother, I want 50% on top of that. For every day that you had that car, I want 25% on the dollar. That's interest, and that's wicked. Now, these devils, they'll finesse you with interest, man. Right? They'll finesse you with interest. Here's interest. It's the price you pay to borrow money or the return earned on savings and investment. So if you want to take a loan out for $5,000, there's interest attached to that. So when you got to pay that loan back, you're paying that principal sum and the interest attached to it, right? Whatever that interest rate is. All right. So for your brother, you can't do that to your brother. The principal sum, the flat fee is the flat fee. All right. Unto a stranger, thou mayest lend upon usury. But unto thy brother, thou shalt not lend upon usury. Yahweh thy God, that Yahweh thy God may bless thee, and all that thou settest thine hand to, and the land whither thou goest to possess it. So you could finesse these nations, right? This is what you call prejudice, righteous prejudice, bigotry, outright racism, right? Outright racism. So these nations, if you have a business and they want to buy from you, you can actually charge them with interest. And that's what these nations do to us, man. They always overcharge Jake, Ishmael, Ham. Don't go to a damn Amalekite spot, man, a damn deli or a damn spot they own, man. And you paying money, man. Because they actually believe that they could do this because they think that they're the people of the Lord. Right? So you're not allowed to do that to your brother. If there's anybody in Israel that has services or goods that they're providing to a lender, they are not allowed to enforce interest on that. Right? They are not allowed to enforce interest on it. Right? Here's another one. Interest is a charge for borrowing money. Yeah, brother, let me hold $10. Yeah, I'll give you $10, brother. You can hold on to $10. But for every dollar I give you, I want 99% of that back. Right? So now you put the brother in debt. See, interest enslaves people because you're gathering money out of nowhere. Interest really put people into binds, man. Imagine that a brother, you get $10 from a brother, but now for every dollar that you borrowed, you got to pay 99 cents on that dollar. And you don't have nothing else. So eventually, And you become in debt, man. Trying to save up and trying to pay this brother back. And, then you take out $200 for every dollar you take out. He want 99% of that, 50% of it on the loan. So a lot of you Jakes, man, you deal with loan sharks. You're dealing, you're gambling. You need money to pay your damn child support. You reached out, you got a loan for a house and a car. You got a $50,000 loan. You'll never pay that loan back. Interest rates are skyrocketing 10%. And this devil, he loves interest, man. He loves interest. You are not allowed to enforce interest on your fellow brother, man. Right? You are not. If a brother is enforcing interest, or you did it in time past, that's why it's time to repent. It's time to repent. Let's go to Exodus chapter 22. Right? And again, you buy a car, you buy a house, you take out a loan, 99% you want to read the fine print. Right? Read the fine print, because you're going to be paying interest on that with these devils, man. Right? And they always have it in small letters at the bottom. Sometimes they transparent. Sometimes you got to have a magnifying glass. Look at the bottom of the page and they say, damn, interest fees, 50%. Right? I just needed $5,000. Right? So it reads, if thou lend money, see this? If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as an usurer, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury. Let's actually go into that word in the Hebrew. Right? And again, if you've been victim to this, then you need to say something. Here it is: to lend, be a creditor, i.e. a credit card, right? Just like you have a credit card, right? So you have creditors in the Bible. You have men that enforce usury, right? You're not allowed to enforce usury. Here it is. Here's another one. One more definition: to lend or by reciprocity, right? Borrow or security on interest. Creditor, exact, extortioner, lend, usurer, lend on usury, right? Here's an example, right? Let's go to 2 Kings, the 4th chapter, about usury. This is 2 Kings chapter 4:1. Now there cried a certain woman of the wives of the sons of the prophets unto Elisha, saying, thy servant, my husband, is dead, and thou knowest that thy servant dare fear Yahweh. And the creditor, see that? And the creditor is come to take unto him my 2 sons to be bondmen. So what is this creditor? So the woman, she was loaned money. She was loaned items. She couldn't pay it back. The creditor is the one who's coming to gather that money. Now, if she don't have the money, the creditor has to take something of equal value of the money. So he's coming to take her 2 sons. He's coming to take her 2 sons. The price of their sons is now of equal value to whatever money or whatever thing that she was loaned by this individual. And you can't be a creditor, man. You can't be like, all right, bro, you can't pay that back. All right, well, give me your damn car. Right? Give me your house. And a lot of you Jakes, we fall, we don't have financial literacy, what they say. We don't have financial literacy. A lot of you brothers, you get your car, when your car is repossessed, that's by the creditor. Right? When your house is damn foreclosed and all of that, it's by the creditors, man. When they come in and they take away things, people used to rent out furniture, or they still do. They don't come and take that furniture if you're not paying that, man. If you're not paying that and the interest, they'll knock on that door and they'll take that stuff. So they were actually going to take this, and they became bondmen. And now, believe it or not, every American citizen, you are a bondman. right? You are a bondman. Why? Because you are part of this man's debt, right? You are part of this man's debt to the Federal Reserve. The Federal Reserve loans the American government on interest the dollar. They, in exchange, give that dollar to you. You take that dollar. Now you are a victim of the debt that is owed to the Federal Reserve. So you are now in bondage, right? Anytime that you use the dollar, I use the dollar, we're bondmen, right? We're in debt. You know, we are taking money that has no value in it, that is loaned to our so-called slave masters on interest for an exchange of goods and services. A lot of you jakes, you think you free, man. You don't know how money works, man. If you think that you're free, you don't understand the sorcery of what these devils have done. They have made you a bondman. What is a bond? Right? It's actually that bond doesn't just mean I'm a slave, although it does. What is a bond? Right? Pull this up. Right? Let's actually get the financial definition. Okay, let's get a better definition than that. Let's see. Let's get a better definition. All right, a fixed income instrument that represents a loan made by an investor to a borrower, typically corporate or governmental, right? Government bond. Let's see. Okay, we'll use this one. See this? A financial instrument that companies and local governments, among others, use to raise capital. You hold the bond for a period of time in exchange for interest payments. Here's an example. Cities and states issue municipal bonds to fund infrastructure work like new roads or bridges, right? So us, as children of Israel, living in Babylon the Great, we are bondmen. We are bondmen. We are men in actual bondage. Not necessarily physically tied up, but we are in financial bondage, right? We are part of this man's currency and part of this man's system, huh? You know? So that's what a bondman is. A man in actual bondage. That's why there's people called a bail bondsman. You pay the bond, usually with an interest, that person's allowed to be free. Right? So again, who's going to pay our bond? Who's going to pay this debt? Who's going to pay what we owe? Now you have a spiritual bond, right? That Yahushua died for. See, Yahushua delivered us from spiritual bondage. And Yahushua is also going to deliver us from this physical bondage, right? He's also going to deliver us from physical bondage, right? Now, this is what you call a ransom. Let's put up the definition of a ransom, right? It says ransom, a sum of money or other payment demanded or paid for the release of a prisoner. So Yahushua, his life was a ransom, right? So in exchange for monies and debts and things that we couldn't pay back, Yahushua gave his life to free us from those debts, spiritually and physically, right? So the Lord is coming to destroy this place and relieve us from all of our bills, mortgages, rents, the dollar, right? Which is putting us in slavery, the Federal Reserve, which is this chief slave master. And the Lord did that by offering himself for us, man. That's what a ransom is, right? Let's pull that word up, right? Let's go to the book of Mark. I believe that's Mark, the 10th chapter, right? Mark 10 and 45. It reads, let's get this definition. For even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister and to give his life a ransom for many, right? So that's another financial term, a ransom, right? Something that is given in exchange to pay off a debt, right? The price of redeeming a ransom paid for slaves, captives, for the ransom of life, to liberate many from misery and the penalty of their sin. So there's a spiritual ransom from our Lord Yahushua, where we are no longer put to death for breaking the Sabbath, witchcraft, adultery, right? Whatever sin that you was in. Yahushua's blood is the currency that was purchased, that was used for purchasing us and delivering us from our sins. That is the ransom, Yahushua's blood, right? That's why it says he purchased us with his own blood. In order to purchase us, we must have been in someone's possession. Now, spiritually, we're under Satan's possession and these demons that have rule over us. In Yahushua, we're now adopted and brought back to the Father through the purchasing. Even financially, your birth certificate, your social security card, the money that you use, your credit, all of these things, you're in bondage. You know, and the Lord is delivering you even from that. Acts 20 and 28. Take heed, therefore, unto yourselves and to all the flock, over the which the Holy Spirit hath made you overseers, to feed the church of the Most High, which he hath purchased with his own blood. That's called a ransom, right? That is called a ransom. Yahushua's blood is delivering us from Babylon the Great, our captivity, and our manifold sins, right? Now, let's get something else dealing with these the laws of money. And I want to dive into Esau's occultism and sorcery as well, through the spirit and power of Yahweh, how he deals with this. This is Deuteronomy chapter 24 and 10. Because again, these are things we have to know. As we come back as a people, it's not just not eating pork and growing your beard out. There's laws on how to govern each other, right? Civil laws to enforce civility and peace, and how people must conduct themselves within the land. Deuteronomy 24 and 10. When thou dost lend thy brother anything, thou shalt not go into his house to fetch his pledge. So a pledge is something that the borrower, or the lender rather, holds on to of equal value in exchange for what they loaned you. It's what the world calls collateral, right? It's what they call collateral. A brother needs $5,000. He needs it bad. The brother, you say, look, brother, I'm going to give you this $5,000, but I'm going to hold on to your car. Your car is worth $5,000. So in the event that he doesn't pay that $5,000 back, you have his car. His car is the pledge. Right? Now, the brother can say, look, I can't pay the $5,000 back when you hold on to that pledge. Now, there are certain things that you can't take as a pledge. And there are certain things that there's a way to go about the pledge. You can't go in his house and take whatever you want to take. Right? Now, that's what you call collateral. Let's pull that definition up. We cover ransom, collateral, interest, bond, usury. Right? Here's collateral. Something pledged as security for repayment of a loan to be forfeited in the event of a default. Like again, you gave the brother $5,000. He had 3 days to pay it back. He didn't pay it back. There was no ransom. There was no nothing. Therefore, you take his car. His car's forfeited unto you. You exchange that car for the $5,000 that brother was supposed to pay you. Right? That's what that's going into. So it's called security or surety, guarantee, pledge, bond, right? Insurance, etc. Right? So that's what it is. Something pledged as security for repayment of a loan. Now, a brother has a right to take a pledge from you. Now, you can get mad. Let's say, the brother say, look, I need $20. You say, look, brother, I need a pledge. Oh, why you got to get a brother? I need a pledge. You don't have to do that. But if you got a brother, He known, the brother, you don't really know the brother like that, or the brother, he's funny with money and he don't like to pay brothers back, and you might want to pledge. You might want to take a pledge from that brother. Right? Hey, brother, you want $20? Hey, here, let me hold on to that, brother. That's worth $20. Oh man, why you got? I don't need it that bad. All right, brother, you don't need it. All right, brother. Okay, he might say, here, brother, here, you can take it, man. Right? So that's fair and that's just to have a pledge. Right? This is let's go back to this. Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse 11. Thou shalt stand abroad, and the man to whom thou dost lend shall bring out the pledge abroad unto thee. And if the man be poor, thou shalt not sleep with his pledge. So his pledge might have been his garment, right? Or his raiment that he had. Now you have to be merciful in a pledge. Let's say you hold on to that brother's car for a pledge, but that brother need that to go to work. He need that. His woman might be pregnant. His children might be sick, right? Get that brother back his car, brother, right? Be merciful, brother. Love your brother. He's poor. He needs that, right? You can't sleep with his pledge if he's a poor man. So you have to learn how to be merciful as well, right? In any case, thou shalt deliver him the pledge again when the sun goeth down, that he may sleep in his own raiment and bless thee. And there should be righteousness unto thee before Yahweh thy God. So the laws actually teach you how to be merciful. They're teaching you how to love your brother, how to be compassionate, right? Let's jump down. Deuteronomy 24 and verse, let's see, 17. Here's what I want. Thou shalt not pervert the judgment of the stranger, nor of the fatherless, nor take a widow's raiment to pledge. So there are certain things you couldn't take the pledge. But there's a law when you can't take the upper and nether millstone to pledge, man. Let's get that in Deuteronomy. Right? This Deuteronomy chapter 24 and verse number 6. No man shall take the nether or the upper millstone to pledge, for he taketh the man's life to pledge. The upper and nether millstone is what you use to grind meal, so you can have bread. You can't take away a brother's living as collateral. You can't do it, bro. Right? You can't do it. So you can't take away a brother's stove. Right? The brother asked for a loan. He said, all right, brother, give me your damn stove. Right? Give me your refrigerator. Hey, the brother need that, brother. You're doing too much, brother. You're going off. You're very unmerciful. And you have no compassion. You can't take a brother's livelihood, man. Give me your car keys. Brother, I gotta go to work, brother. Come on, brother. Give me your car keys. So that would be wicked. You cannot, when it comes to taking the pledge, you cannot take away a brother's life, things that sustain him, his raiment, his tools that he used to make money, to make bread, his income. So there are even laws that go into how to deal with collateral. Now, this devil, again, he doesn't deal with this. He doesn't deal with the laws of collateral according to the Bible. Right? Now, let's see if they have it an example. Right? Salaki spelled that all wrong. Check this out. Collateral guarantees a loan. So it needs to be an item of value. For an example, it can be a piece of property, such as a car or a home. And this devil would say that. This devil would take your damn home, huh? Right? Here you at home, and he kicked your damn door down. Put the yellow tape up there. Put a bunch of damn notes on your door, man. You didn't pay this money back, we're taking your house. We're going to hold on to your house till you pay this money back. We need the deed to your house. We need the title to your car. Hey, that man in 2 Kings, he's about to take her sons. He's about to take her sons to be bond. How wicked is that? Give me your children till you pay this money back. See, a lot of people, they get loans and people can't pay them back, and they get real demonic. They're very demonic, man. Yeah, you can't pay me back. Boy, I'm about to have my way, man. And you seen Damn, Mo Better Blues. If you didn't see Mo Better Blues, it's a decent movie. Spike Lee joint, a Denzel Washington. It was a decent movie back in the day. Now, when you watch the movie, I believe his name was Giant, Spike Lee, and I can't remember Denzel Washington. I can't remember his name in the movie. But Spike Lee, he got into it with some loan sharks and he couldn't pay his money back. Now, what did they do to Spike Lee and Denzel in the alley? They damn near beat them half to death, man. You know? That's what a Negro will do. He'll beat you to death. He will never show you mercy. Hey, these Negroes will make you damn strip naked, man. You know, and they'll take your woman from you. You know? They'll damn snatch your wallet, your social security. One thing that Jake does not know is how to be merciful and how to deal with the laws of finance with compassion and consideration. Let Esau be ruthless, man. Let him be that way. Let us not be in that manner. Right? Let me read this one more time. Collateral guarantees a loan, so it needs to be an item of value. For example, it can be a piece of property such as a car or a home, or even cash that the lender can seize if the borrower does not pay. So this collateral can kind of jam you up. A pledge could jam you up, right? A pledge can jam you up, all right? So these are the laws that we're dealing with. Let's go into another law real quick, dive into the laws of wealth and money. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 8 and verse number 12. It reads, "Lend not unto him that is mightier than thyself, for if thou lendest it, count it but lost." Yeah, damn, Jeff Bezos asked you to hold on to $200. You ain't getting that money back. He's not coming to find you. You don't matter. You're insignificant. He has 1,000 things on his mind. You're not getting it back. Don't just lend to everybody. You got money. Hey, brother, you better think about what you're doing with that money, man. Especially in these days, man. Inflation, prices are high. Money just can't be mishandled. And we're the people who are damn reckless with their money. See, again, like I was saying earlier, these Edomites, these nations, they teach their children about collateral, bonds, finances, credit. Jake, you don't teach your children that. You weren't taught that. And you have no desire to learn how this system works. You know, these devils be having stocks here and this here, and they got this income and ROI over here, and this happening, and you Negroes are just sitting around smoking a blunt. So I gotta get paid, I gotta get this money. You have to know how to handle your finances. Especially you brothers that got families, man. I mean, it'll be a damn shame, you brothers that got families, and you're a man, you don't know how to deal with your finances. Willingly. It's one thing if a situation happened to you, but it's another damn thing if you're just incompetent. Oh, I got this master plan. Oh man, I gotta get this car. Brother, you got rent due, brother. What are you talking about? Gotta get these Jordans. Brother, your lights are about to be off, brother. But I know, but I gotta get them. They just came out. I got candles. You know? I got the flashlight on my phone. Brother, your light's about to be cut off. Your water about to be cut off. I mean, well, you know, I'll be all, we'll be cool. Your son is dying of thirst. Hey, your children can't take a shower, man. A lot of you brothers, you're sick in the head. Your mind is bad. And your priorities are horrible. Let me read this again. Sirach 8 and 12. Lend not unto him that is mightier than thyself, for if thou lendest him, count it but lost. Be not surety above thy power, for if thou be surety, take care to pay it. Now, there's another thing called surety in the Bible. A surety is essentially a co-signer or someone that has a payment that's guaranteed, right? That's what surety is. Let's pull that up. Like somebody that might say, you know what? I'm going to take on this. I'm going to sponsor this individual, I'm going to co-sign for this. It's $300. Hey, look, I'll pay $300 down. And then the lender, he'll say, okay, all right, well, I'll sign you. You'll pay $300. You'll co-sign on this. You'll be a guarantor, guarantee for this. Okay, that's fine. Now when it's time to pay that $300, brother, you better pay up, man. Right? Let's put this definition up. Surety. Right? It reads, a person who takes responsibility for another's performance for an undertaking. For an example, appearing in court or the payment of a debt, like a sponsor, a guarantor, right? And you have those. You got people that make these investments, they're guarantors, but they can't pay it back, man. They're in over their head, right? They're in over their head. That's what surety is according to the Bible. So you'll see that word in the scriptures too, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Right? Let's go to 1 Samuel chapter 22. So these are words we have to know, right? Surety, usury, bond, interest, collateral, a pledge, right? This is 1 Samuel chapter 22 and verse number 1. David therefore departed thence and escaped to the cave Adullam. And when his brethren and all his father's house heard it, they went down thither to him. And everyone that was in distress, and everyone that was in debt, and everyone that was discontented gathered themselves unto him. And he became captain over them, and there were with him about 400 men. And how did everyone become in debt? Well, King Saul was oppressing the people. Right? Remember, when you read 1 Samuel, which we're not going to go to, the 8th chapter, the 9th chapter, you read about the manner of the king that the Most High was set up over Israel. He would take your daughters to be confectionaries and bakers and cooks. He would take your young men and run before him to be over his chariots. You have to pay, part of your land. So people became in debt under the rulership of King Saul. So they sought refuge and they trusted in David to relieve them of their debt. And this is how we are with Yahushua, right? This pertains to us and Yahushua now. It says, and everyone that was in distress, and we are in distress, man. We're at our wits' end. We don't have enough, man. We're not millionaires. And even if you think you kind of well off, the same applies to you. More money, more problems, man. Right? Even if you think you got it and you don't got it, man. Money come and go. 1 minute you up, 1 minute you down. Unless you done sold your damn soul or you're some type of damn magician. But I'm under the curses. Deuteronomy 28:16, Deuteronomy 28:17, Deuteronomy 28:29, Deuteronomy 28:33, Deuteronomy 28. All these curses, they run heavily as a sign and as a wonder. So we're in distress, man. Right? We're trying to figure out how to get this paid, etc. And even if you got everything taken care of and you have some type of financial literacy, something always happens, man. Your car might break down. Somebody damn broke your window. Somebody got sick or they canceled damn insurance, or there's always something going on. So this is us and everyone that was in distress and everyone that was in debt. So you are in debt. You can say, well, I ain't in debt. I paid this off, my credit score. Brother, you're in debt. And that's what we're about to dive into, how everyone that is in this Babylon the Great system, you are in debt. And everyone that was discontented gathered themselves unto him. They did this unto David, were gathered unto Yahushua. And he became captain over them. And there was with him about 400 men. So again, here's the definition of debt. Something, typically money, that is owed or due. Bills, accounts, tallies. How many brothers seen this? You have an outstanding payment, man. Right? Your gas bill, your electric bill, your light bill, your water bill, your car note, your mortgage, your rent. You have an outstanding balance. Late with pay. Look at this. Late with payments. How many brothers have been late with payments, man? You had to work overtime, you know, had to kind of borrow here, borrow there, make something shake, take on, a low-level job. It says behind with payments. You brother, you're behind you're behind with payments, man. You know, owing money, right? Indebtedness, obligation, liability, right? These are the things that we're in. We're in debt and we're gathering unto our Lord Yahweh Shai, right? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, this is let me pull this up. We covered this. This is again, you can look this up on your own if you want to look up currency and weight in the scriptures. Now, all of those laws that we dealt with, shekels and pledges, predominantly it deals with the ancient world. Now, in the modern world, they have so-called paper money, right? This is what you have now, right? Went from coins and metals to now you have, right? Let's pull this up. Your US dollar, right? Now there's other paper money, but right now we're going to deal with what they love, man. They all about the Benjamins, man. So now here's what Esau has, man. Right? Federal, you look at the top left, Federal Reserve note. And we all know that this money is rooted in occultic witchcraft and demonic symbols. The owls, and you fold the money this way, it's brother being lynched. Got the damn, you fold it this way, it's twin towers, it's a key over here, it's an owl over here, there's a pyramid with an eye on it right here, right? There's all these Masonic witchcraft and dark symbols behind it. So here's the so-called paper money that they use today that, again, it's not biblical, right? It's not of the Lord, man. It's not of Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. Now, Esau, here's Esau's original, before he had his dollar, he had his continental currency banknotes. And this is how his so-called money looked, man, right? $1 and paper money really started with the Moabite man, and then Esau picked it up. If you want to look into that history, you can regarding banknotes, right? But it started way back with the Moabites and the Ammonites. Then Esau adopted that, right? Esau adopted banknotes in England and other parts, and they started using that, right? They started using that. So I'm not going to read this whole article, but if this is something that you want to look into, this is from Clear Junction, The History of Paper Money, right? The history of paper money and where it came from. Now, let's actually go to this. So again, this was what Babylon the Great, what they picked up, right? And you can see what they had. Now, eventually, see, they had Exitus in dubio est, right? And this is looks like a serpent and an eagle on it. This is what they originally had, man. This is as $3, right? $3. Exitus in dubio, right? Let's see what that means. This is what they had on a damn $3. Exitus in dubio est, right? Issued under the authority of the Continental Congress. This example of paper currency from the American Revolution bears the image of an eagle. I guess that's an eagle attacking a crane. With the Latin motto, Exitus in dubio est, the outcome is in doubt, right? So that's what they had, man, right? The outcome is in doubt. That was originally on their currency. Now, they don't have that now, right? And we're going to go into what they have now. Then he had this for $4, Alt Morris, Alt Vita Decora. And this looks like a swine being attacked by an arrow. And they have this Latin because they picked up, this is Rome back on the earth. So let's look this up. Alt, I believe that's Alt Mors, Alt Vita, right? Alt Mors, Alt Vita Decora, right? victory or death, liberty or death, right? Victory or death, liberty or death. All right, I believe that's what it means, right? Either death or honorable life. So this is what they had back in time past. Now you look on the so-called, I'm not going to look all these up, right? But in today's time, what does Esau have on the back of his dollar? They have all these, look at this. This was on there $0.33. Look at this. Mind your business. And you have the sun shining on a compass with a pyramid on it. And it says, mind your business. So that's off. Right? This is on a $0.33. Mind your business with the compass with Roman numerals on it. I can't see what year, a pyramid, and the sun shining. And I'm led to believe this is some degree, the degree of the sun shining, rather than 66 degrees or whatever. You know, these devils were heavy into witchcraft, man. Right? These devils were heavy into witchcraft, and they were heavy into sorcery. Right? They were heavy into sorcery. So why would they say mind your business? Why do they have on the back of the dollar? Let's pull up what they have on the currently on the back of dollar bill. So at first they had mind your business, and now they have what they call the Great Seal, right? And they actually break it down, right? You got the federal. Let's open this up real quick. Kind of dive into this, right? So they break it down with what each thing means on there that you can't see. But then the part we want to look at is right here, the Great Seal and the Great Seal obverse. So now it went from mind your business, and who were they telling to mind their business to? To the people that were without, the people that weren't part of their sorcery and their witchcraft. That's what they were saying, mind your business. Because all of these Edomite so-called founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, George Washington, James Monroe, Thomas Jefferson, they were all into witchcraft and sorcery. So a lot of the cultic symbols are rooted in the fact that these were warlocks and wizards, and they practiced witchcraft on a very, very high level. You know, and Jake, you worship the money, man. You worship the money. So by default, you are a partaker of the sorcery of this system if you love their money. Now, if you use their money, you kind of do what you got to do. Hey, but if you love this system, then you're part of this system. Now, let's go to the book of Isaiah, the 47th chapter real quick, right? Let's go to Isaiah 47. Now, there was nothing that we did in the ancient world with the shekel, the gera, the balances, right? That was full of sorcery and witchcraft. Only the devil would do that. They would invent a currency that means absolutely nothing, that they controlled and rooted it within witchcraft and madness, right? This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 6. This is Isaiah prophesied against the daughter of Babylon, aka America, right? Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth, right? It reads, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted mine inheritance and given them into thine hand. And thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancient hast thou verily heavily laid thy yoke. So the Lord said he was wroth with the Israelites. He put us in captivity, and Esau showed us no mercy. Now let's jump down. Right? This Isaiah chapter 47 and verse number 9. It reads, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day, the loss of children and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So if you didn't know, America deals mightily with enchantments, man. And this society, they deal with subliminal messages. There are warlocks and wizards. In the music industry, you have wicked priests on the left-hand side that sacrifice children. All these children that's missing in DC, Ohio, parts of the Midwest and down south. Hey, them children are grabbed up, man. Popped and sold and sacrificed, man. Unfortunately, man. I mean, just speaking candidly, right? This society is heavy into witchcraft, man. Spells on the people, putting sicknesses on people, infirmities. These are the great, and like we're going to their money as part of their enchantments, right? The spells and the spirits they put on the money is part of their enchantments, man. They're occultic symbols and sorcery, right? I'm going to jump down. This is Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 12. Stand now with thine enchantments and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail. You see that? So the Lord said, Babylon the Great, they have labored in sorcery from their youth. What does it mean from their youth? From their inception, from the time that they became a nation, from the time that they became a country, they have been, even to this very day, they have been rooted in witchcraft. Every president, right? And we went into this before during the so-called inauguration, right? Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush, all of these damn world leaders are partakers of sorcery on some form of fashion. And America's been like that, man. Like we've been going to, the Lord said, from their youth. From their youth, they've been like this. That's why all of their so-called, where's this at? They so-called founding fathers, like we always go into, they were Freemasons, right? They were Freemasons, right? Which means they were in a clandestine, occultic, fraternal order of warlocks and wizardry, right? And we all know these symbols, the checkerboard, and what this means, and the all-seeing eye, and all of this. Washington as a Freemason. And these men, believe it or not, the men that actually created the dollar and put those occultic symbols on there, they were all Freemasons, man. These guys that created the Great Seal, where's that at? I had that. The Great Seal of the United States, that was done by Edomite warlocks, right? That's why it says, again, and again, you brothers, you know this. For you brothers that are new in the truth, right? This is new to you. A new acceptance, right? Which means what? The Most High, pretty much the Most High is with us, right? He has ordained us. He's with our conquering, right? Let's actually get the proper wording for that, right? Anuus coeptus, it means he favors our undertakings, right? Now, who's the he? Allegedly supposed to be the Most High, but it's really Satan, right? He favors our undertakings, right? Which means they're working hand in hand with the spiritual demon Satan. Satan favors their undertakings. He's with them as they commit adultery, as they rob, as they plunder, as they pillage, as they kill. Satan has favored their undertakings, right? And that's why everything that they do, they've seen the success they had, and they have decreed and said, Satan is with us. Our God is with us. He has favored us. We have murdered and enslaved all so-called Gadites, Reubenites on this land. We have the children of Israel in captivity, the southern kingdom, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. We have conquered the 12 tribes of Israel. God is with us. He has favored us. That's why in Isaiah, it says, thou thought that I was altogether such as one as thyself, man. Right? But I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. It's like that's in Psalms. Let me get that in Psalms. Right? See, they thought that the Most High was with them, man. Right? This is Psalms chapter 50 and verse number 20. It reads, Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother. Thou slanderest thine own mother's son. So Esau speak against us, right? Throwing curses on us, slandering us in the media, right? These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. See that? So these devils think that the Most High is with them, right? That's why they said he has favored our undertakings. And again, you have the Anuit Coeptus. He has favored our undertakings. You have the pyramid with the all seeing eye, of course. So you have 1776 on the bottom, and Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is New World Order, right? New World Order. New Novus is New Order, is obviously Ordo Seclorum is world, like secular. So then this is this occultic symbols rooted within witchcraft and sorcery. So this great seal was made by these two Edomites, right? Where's this guy? Charles Thompson. He's obviously a sodomite. Look at this picture, right? He's obviously a pervert and a child molester. Well, show me he's a child molester. Well, look at him. He's obviously in that spirit, right? So he's the one, along with another Edomite. I have to find his name. They're the ones who actually designed the pyramid and designed the what they call the Great Seal of the United States. And this guy was also a Freemason. He was also a minor warlock, sodomite. I mean, look at him. Who puts their hands on a book like that? Right? So this guy was also into that spirit, man. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but I'm going to jump down. Charles Thompson was an Irish-born patriot leader in Philly during the American Revolution and the secretary of the Continental Congress, right? Throughout its existence. As secretary, Thompson, a founding father of the United States, prepared the journals of the Continental Congress. Thompson is also known for co-designing the Great Seal of the United States, adding its Latin mottos, Anuit Coeptus and Novus Ordo Seclorum, and for his translation of the Bible's Old Testament. So a lot of these men, they knew about the Most High. They knew about Yahweh Shah. These guys, they knew who the Israelites are. Huh? They had the children of God in captivity. And they said, this is the new world order. He put that up there. Well, why would he say that? This is a God-fearing country rooted in Christianity, right? And the Most High is with the society. Why would you have men like this come out and just put that on the currency? Because all of these guys were sodomites, demons, warlocks, and wizards. Don't let America fool you. You see the statues, you go to the Lincoln Memorial, you see these things. These guys are heavy into madness, witchcraft, and folly, man. Right? Heavy witchcraft, madness, and folly. They call this the Great Seal. And again, you have the so-called eagle with war and peace, right? I believe that's the olive branch, and they have the war arrows, you know? And they have a pluribus unum, which is what? Out of many one. And in God we trust. What God are they talking about? The God of this world, right? Isn't that 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 3? That's the God that they trust in. They're not talking about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. 2 Corinthians chapter 4 and 3 on down. But if our gospel be hid, it is hid to them that are lost, and whom the God of this world hath blinded the minds of them which believe not, lest the light of the glorious gospel of Hamashiach, who is the image of the Most High, should shine unto them. So this is the God that they serve. The God of what? Of this world, right? The God of this world. Now, again, all of these men that created this were warlocks, full of sorcery, dark magic, follies, secret fraternities. Look at this. And orders, man. Right? Now, they have this. A lot of these guys, you'll see them. They'll have the compass and the measuring square on there, right? And that, like he has on his apron right there, right? Like he has on his apron. All right. And all of this is, all these are symbols. They have this G, I believe that stands for geometry or God, and they have this symbol on there. Now, a lot of these guys, they know about the Most High, right? They know about the Lord. And I'm gonna play a little of this clip right here, right? I'm gonna play a little of this clip regarding the warlocks of the society and what they have done, right? And what they have done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Let's play this a little bit. I'm not gonna play this whole thing, but this regards what these devils are into, huh? So all you Negroes that trust this society, you love America, your mind is bad. You have a very bad mind.
As the compasses, circles, you name it. What's the idea?
Now this is from Unexplained, the Freemasons' connection to our founding fathers.
Idea behind it. Geometry is a synonym of
It's fair use.
masonry. Geometry is, you name it. What's the idea behind it? Geometry is a synonym of masonry. The universal symbol of Freemasonry has the compasses, the square, and then you have the letter G. And the letter G is the initial of geometry, because we in Freemasonry refer to the deity as the grand architect of the universe or the grand geometrician.
So they call him the grand, whatever God they believe in, the grand architect or the grand geometrician. So they believe in all types of occultic measurements and symbology and freakism, huh? Just outright freakism. Here's what they call it. Their God, the great architect of the universe, right, is a conception of God discussed by many Christian theologians and apologists. As a designation, it is used with Freemasonry to represent the deity in whatever form, by whatever name each member may individually believe in. So it's nothing but satanic spirits that they're into. It is also a Rosicrucian conception of God, as expressed by Max Heindel, right? And we know about the Rosicrucians, right? The Rosicrucians were also another clandestine fraternal order, right? So this is what they call the great, this is what your so-called founding fathers were into. When did the Most High say call him the great architect of the universe? Where is it at in the scriptures? When has that ever been a title of the Most High? The great architect of the universe, or the grand geometrician. And keeping the geometrical and architectural theme of Freemasonry, the supreme being is referred to in Masonic ritual by the titles of the great architect of the universe, grand geometrician, or similar, to make clear that the reference is generic and not tied to a particular religion's conception of God. So they believe in whatever they want to believe in, which is Satan. If you don't believe in the Most High and His truth, they're into Satanism, follies, and vanities, man. And all these men that created this, they were full of witchcraft and sorcery, right? Let's go to the book of Nahum. Let's go to Jeremiah real quick, chapter 49. This is Jeremiah chapter 49 and verse number 7. Concerning Edom, thus said the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Tamar? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? So Edom, the so-called white men, they have wise men. Wise men are men that deal with high-level sorcery. They observe the times. They're into astrology. They're monthly prognosticators. They try to look into the future. They deal with all manner of wizardry, right? And the Lord is prophesying against the wisdom of Babylon the Great, not the wisdom that the Most High gave them on the right-hand side, but the knowledge that they have of all of the wizardry and witchcraft that they have, man, right? All of the witchcraft that they have through the spirit. And they have this money, since we're going into money and witchcraft, to enslave you, man. All of this is to enslave you and put you into perpetual debt, right? There's a law in Leviticus, the 25th chapter, that deals with the Jubilee, right? Now, the Jubilee frees you from every debt. All right, this is Leviticus chapter 25 and verse number 9. So the Jubilee came in the 50th year. You would count 7 Sabbaths of years. So you would have 7 times 7 of years. You have 49 years. And then your 50th year would be your Jubilee, right? Now, the Jubilee year was a massive year of release when all debts, all bondage, all creditors, all of that was disannulled. It was null and void during the year of Jubilee. Now, Esau don't keep that. He don't say every 50 years all your debt is free, right? Every 50 years, anything that you owe, you don't worry about it. Don't sweat it. They don't do that every 50 years. So they don't have a reset. And that's a wise thing that Yahweh Bashmel Shah set up. It's perfection to have a reset. You know, things kind of go back to normal, bro. Otherwise, it leads to what we're in now, which is everlasting slavery until Yahweh Shah returns. People are still going to be paying bills and rents and mortgages. It's forever. It's an eternal captivity. That's what these devils don't want to keep the law. Because if they keep the law, that means you don't have to, you can't use the dollar. You're not in slavery. So it's not just them giving you pork and crab and lobster. They want it, they're putting you in bondage, perpetual bondage, but not allowing them to keep the law, right? This is Leviticus 25 and 9. Then thou shalt cause the trumpet of Jubilee to sound, right? Make sure this is showing. Come. On the 10th day of the 7th month, which is the Day of Atonement, and the Day of Atonement shall ye make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And ye shall hallow the 50th year and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and ye shall return every man into his possession, and ye shall return every man unto his family. So when Yahweh Shah returns, he's going to actually execute this. He's going to keep this law as a high priest. And that's a spiritual jubilee. So all of our debts, all of our fines, all of the things that we owe, we're going to be released from that. Because Yahweh Shah is the ransom. And we're going to return back to our possession, which is our land. And we're going to return back to our families, which are our respective tribes, through the spirit and power and mercy and compassion of the Almighty Yahweh, Bashmi Yahweh Shah. Because if not, man, and we'll forever be in debt, man. We'll forever be in debt. You got these guys that actually spake up against the society, man. You had Edomites that actually spake up against the society, and they were killed. You had this one guy who spoke up against the debt. Where's this man at? This he's a former president, man. They killed this guy. You wonder why all these presidents get murdered, assassinated, is when they speak up against the powers that be. Right now, he came out, I believe this is Garfield. He said, whosoever controls the volume of money in our country is absolute master of all industry and commerce. And when you realize that the entire system is very easily controlled. Now, he's an Edomite senator. He's a president. One way or another, by a few powerful men. At the top, you will not have to be told how periods of inflation and depression originate. That's from James A. Garfield, the 20th president of the U.S., July 12, 1881, 2 weeks before his assassination. He said, look, man, you're doing too much. You're talking too much. Right? You're supposed to be the puppet king and just follow orders. Hey, but you're speaking up. So they blew his brains out or killed him, however they killed him. I'm going to read that quote one more time. So you look at these presidents that got assassinated. And they were always assassinated by the powers that be. Because a lot of these presidents, they speak up. They get sick of the agenda, the program. And a lot of these guys, the Most High kind of put in their spirit to kind of get out of there. Right? So it reads, I'm going to read this one more time. Whoever controls the volume of money in our country is absolute master. So if they're master, then you're the absolute slave. And who controls the volume of money? The Federal Reserve. Right? And they're the ones that loan the American government money on interest that they freely give to you, that you have trust in, that it has value. It only has value because you believe the words of the so-called white man. You can't weigh it. It's not backed on natural resources. That's what they call it, fiat currency. It's not backed on gold. It's not backed on silver. It's not backed on damn brass. So all of the money that you have, it only has value because you believe that the so-called white man told you it has value. Now you can stop using it if you want to. You can say, well, I don't want to use. Well, you're not going to make it. You're not going to survive. The Lord said, use the world and not abusing it. You know? So you got to kind of, get down, man. Unfortunately, until Yahweh Shah destroys his system. So this man said he's the people that control the money are absolute master of all industry and commerce. That includes war, that includes factories, that includes land. That's everything. All trade by land, by sea. And when you realize that the entire system is very easily controlled one way or another by a few powerful men. That's what we always call an oligarchy. An oligarchy is how this society runs. That's the true political structure of Babylon the Great. It's called an oligarchy, which is a few powerful men that run the society, or an aristocracy, rich elite families that dictate laws and order. By a few powerful men at the top, you will not have to be told how periods of inflation and depression originate. So he pretty much told them, now this is before the Great Depression, right? He's telling you that these elites, they cause depressions, they cause inflations, they caused the Great Depression, they caused the crisis in 2008, right? They caused this. And he came out and said that, and 2 weeks later, this guy died, right? Now you had another guy who was assassinated, so-called Abraham Lincoln. Now, he got assassinated right after he said this. He said the government should create, issue, and circulate all the currency and credits needed to satisfy the spending power of the government and the buying power of consumers. By the adoption of these principles, the taxpayers will be saved immense sums of interest. So he said, look, these people ain't going to be paying stuff on interest. Money will cease to be master and become the servant of humanity. So they blew this guy brains out right afterwards, man. So you speak up as an Edomite on this these elites and how they run this government, then you're a dead man. You're a dead man. You have to comply. These presidents have to comply. These congressmen, these senators, these guys, you speak up, man. Esau, he'll hit you, man. He got hit, man. John Wilkes Booth was a hitman. What was that guy? Harvey Oswald. He was a hitman. Master shooter, sharpshooter. I'm not too sure how Garfield died, but they blew his brains out too. They killed that guy. They shot him or did something to him. Right? This guy who spoke up. Right? You had this man. We all know this quote. This is from Meyer Amschel Rothschild. We all know about the Rothschilds that started in Germany, and their family became bankers, and they opened up banks, and they began to own the banking industry, right? He said, let me issue and control the nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws. And they knew that, man. Right? I don't care who writes the laws if I can control the nation's money. I run everything. Because whoever writes the laws, they're going to need money to buy and sell, to eat. So these guys creeped their way into the top and freaked off in this society, man. Right? Let me get that in addition to Esther. Let me get a few. We're going to get a few more. Right? This is addition to Esther, chapter 16 and verse number, let's see, 12. Now, when you read Addition to Esther, you read about it's a further breakdown of why Haman did what he did. See, Haman had two agendas. One agenda was to overtake the kingdom of the Persians and Medes. He was really sent there to overtake the Persians and bring them in subjection under the Greeks that they were at odds with at that time. It just so happened that him being an Edomite, going back to Amalek, like the Rothschilds, those are Amalekites, that he had a hatred for the Jews. So his other purpose was to destroy the Jews. Now, that sums up Esau, right? He wants the power and he wants to destroy the Jews. Now, here's what Ahasuerus said about Haman the Edomite. I mean, this whole thing this is a main chapter. This is one of my favorite chapters in the Apocrypha, right? But this is man, this whole thing is. I'm gonna read 5 and then I'm gonna jump down. It reads, oftentimes also fair speech of those that are put in trust to manage their friends' affairs have caused many that are in authority to be partakers of innocent blood and have enwrapped them in remediless calamities. Right, so you might have a guy that you put in power, and this guy, he starts making decisions, and the decisions he makes tends to overthrow your government. So that's what Haman was doing. He's speaking about when Haman was put second in command, and then he called up the king of Persia in a damn plan to kill all of the Jews. And the king of Persia didn't even know that. He didn't even know what he was doing. So he's speaking about what happened with his relationship in Haman, how Haman almost overthrew the entire kingdom, right? And this is what Esau does. These Rothschilds, these Amalekites, they're the modern day Haman. Haman infiltrated the government of the Persians through wealth and through finances and used his power to essentially try to overthrow the Persians and give it to the hand of the so-called white man. And Esau, he's doing that in Syria right now, right? What you saw going on in Syria, he's doing that. He's overthrowing governments, right? These Rothschilds, these elites, and they're setting themselves up in the Golden Heights. They're taking the oil and they're taking over the land, right? He did it in Saudi Arabia. He did it in Libya. He does it all the time, right? He did it in the Persians and Medes, and he did it in this society. The Amalekites came in and creeped in and took over the society, right? Let me jump down to verse number 13. I'll start at 12. But he, not bearing his great dignity, went about to deprive us of our kingdom and life. That's how a lot of those presidents felt, right? About the Amalekites and those so-called Jews. Having by manifold and cunning deceits sought of us the destruction as well of Mordecai, who saved our life, and continually procured our good, as also of blameless Esther, partaker of our kingdom with their whole nation. For by these means he thought, finding us destitute of friends, to have translated the kingdom of the Persians to the Macedonians. So that was his whole intention, to infiltrate foreign governments, take over that government, and give it to the hand of the so-called white man. And Esau does that. He does that in every government he goes to. He overthrows those governments and brings it under the hand of Babylon the Great, under the hand of Christianity, and under the hand of democracy. So there's no new thing under the sun. Haman did the same thing. Financially, sorcery, bewitching the people. Haman actually had a league of warlocks or wise men that he consulted with. Right? This Esther chapter 6 and verse number 13. And Haman told Zeresh his wife and all his friends everything that had befallen him. Then said his wise men and Zeresh his wife unto him, if Mordecai be of the seed of the Jews, before whom thou hast begun to fall, thou shalt not prevail against him, but shalt surely fall before him. So Haman had his own league of wise men, right? Monthly prognosticators, wizards, warlocks, priests. He had his own league that he consulted with that gave him ideas and plans to try to help him overthrow the Persians. And like King Ahasuerus said, deliver into the hand of the Macedonians, because they were at war with the Persians. They were beefing with them at the time. And that's what there's this video, which I'm not going to play the whole thing, but this is called Confessions of Economic Hitmen. And this is old, and I believe brothers touched on this, but we're just bringing it back up, right, for edification's sake. Confessions of an Economic Hitman. And if you've seen this, you've seen it. If not, you can watch it. But it's about these Edomites that actually say how they use money and sorcery to infiltrate governments and overthrow them, right? You have literal hitmen that will hit you right between the eyes. And then you have economic hitmen that'll hit you in your pockets, right? And they'll kill you financially and oppress you and finesse you and give you loans that you can't pay back and take all your wealth from you. So I'm gonna play a little of this. I'm not gonna play the whole thing. I play maybe 25 seconds or something, right? And see what he actually went into. Now, I don't know what happened to this guy. I don't know if he's still alive or what.
But the money never actually goes to that country from Christians covet, like the.
So this guy he actually came out and started speaking up.
But perhaps the most common is that we will identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, and then.
You heard what he said. He said the first thing they do is they identify a nation that has resources or money and things that we can covet. That's Micah chapter 2:1 on down. Listen to what he said. And I'm going to see if he's still alive. I think he's still alive.
A country that has different ways. But perhaps the most common is that we will identify a country that has resources our corporations covet, like oil, and then arrange a huge loan to that country from the World Bank or one of its sister organizations. But the money never actually goes to the country. Instead, it goes to our big corporations to build infrastructure projects in that country, power plants, industrial parks, ports, things that benefit a few rich people in that country, in addition to our corporations, but really don't help the majority of the people at all. However, those people, the whole country is left holding a huge debt.
See that? He said the whole country is left holding a huge debt. That's sorcery, man. And madness.
At all. However, those people, the whole country is left holding a huge debt. It's such a big debt they can't repay it. And that's part of the plan, that they can't repay it. And so at some point, we economic hitmen go back to them and say, listen, you owe us a lot of money, can't pay your debt, so sell your oil real cheap to our oil companies. Allow us to build a military base in your country, or send troops in support of ours to someplace in the world like Iraq, or vote with us on the next UN vote, to have their electric utility company privatized and their water and sewage system privatized and sold to U.S. corporations or other multinational corporations. So there was that whole mushrooming thing, and it's so typical of the way the IMF and the World Bank.
Right. So he spoke of the IMF and the World Bank. The IMF is the International Monetary Fund, and the World Bank. They work hand in hand. They work for governments. They give you loans that you can't pay back, and they oppress you. That's all they do. The IMF and the World Bank. They enslave all nations under Western philosophy, the dollar, and they make you use the dollar and have it part of your global reserve currency, and you're forever in debt to the Federal Reserve, which is owned by Amalek. So this is world domination financially.
Sewage system privatized and sold to U.S. corporations or other multinational corporations. So there was that whole mushrooming thing, and it's so typical of the way the IMF and the World Bank work. They put a country in debt. It's such a big debt it can't pay it, and then you offer to refinance that debt and pay even more interest.
Pay even more interest, man. So usury. So they're robbing the earth, man. This is how America gets down. This is why Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5 on down, it says he transgresses by wine. He's talking about the wine. Yea, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth himself. as death, paraphrasing, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. So he's speaking about the wine. So you got people, I don't believe the Bible. That's not talking about the white man. Well, how do you know that says the white man? I don't see the word Edomite in there. Okay, well, we're going into it. Doesn't have to say the word Edomite. Doesn't have to say that.
And you demand this quid pro quo, which you call a conditionality or good governance, which means basically that they've got to sell off their resources, including many of their social services, their utility companies, their school systems, sometimes their penal systems.
You got to sell off your school systems. That means they can go in there and they could so-called brainwash your children and teach them how to be a homosexual and a child molester. Even their penal systems, they could enforce prisons and how to jam you up and enforce judges. This is how they take over lands. This is how the wine of Babylon the Great spreads. And this is how all nations are drinking of the cup of her wine and made drunk with it. You let the so-called white man in your land if you want to, man. Your best bet when a so-called white man come land on your soil is to kill him. Like them, I think they Japhites or Hamites out there. You can't even go to their island. If you go out there, you look up, it's damn arrows flying your way. You kind of ducking and dodging it and doing a U-turn. As soon as they see a boat coming, they launch it. And they'll eat you out there. I think they ate a guy out there. You know, he kind of landed. Somehow he got there. They ate him.
Their utility companies, their school systems, sometimes their penal systems, their insurance systems to foreign corporations.
So that's pretty much that. You can watch the rest of that on your own if you want to. Again, it's an old video. The brothers go into it all the time, but we're using it for the lesson. Confessions of an Economic Hitman, right? And I paraphrased it, but like I said, let me read this in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, right? Only because I paraphrased it, but I'm gonna read it through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, how these devils get down. This is Habakkuk. And first, let me get Nahum, right? Let me get Nahum, the 3rd chapter, right? This is Nahum chapter 3 and verse number 3 and 18. Thy shepherds slumber, O king of Assyria. Thy nobles shall dwell in the dust. Thy people is scattered upon the mountains, and no man gathereth them. There is no healing of thy bruise. Thy wound is grievous. All they hear that broodeth thee shall clap their hands over thee. For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? Meaning, who didn't you oppress? What land didn't you invade? What people didn't you slaughter? What children didn't you steal? Right? What land doesn't have a military base? What continent doesn't have a United States embassy on it? What country doesn't use the dollar in some form or fashion? Petrodollar, global reserve currency. What people are in bed with America? For upon whom hath not thy wickedness passed continually? That's what the Most High said. You spread damn demons all on the earth, man, like a sexually transmitted disease. And it's spread throughout all nations continually, even to this day. Right? Habakkuk chapter 2 and 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, not at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's why this devil, right? This devil is invading Syria right now. Right? All of this goes into what we were going into. The sorcery and the witchcraft of why he's in Syria, because of the oil reserves, the sorcery of them being the false people of the Most High. Right? Everything you see going on today is rooted in occultism, sorcery, and witchcraft of the so-called white man. Right? Now, here's another video if you wanted to watch. It's called Who Controls All Our Money, right? I'm not going to play it, but you could check it out and actually go into how this society works, right? So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh by Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. This has been Occultism, Laws of Money, Revelation 18. Most High willing you was edified. Kwam Yashab. Shalom.